North Durham Police to host Community Safety Day. Dan Kearns, The Standard, Scugog. People are invited to Durham Region Police's North Durham Division headquarters this weekend for their Community Safety Day. The event will be held on Saturday, June 22nd from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. at 15765 Highway 12 in Scugog. The day's attractions will include police displays from the canine, tactical, and motorcycle units, vintage police vehicles on display, inflatables, other community safety partners on hand, and a free barbecue. People are encouraged to bring food donations, which police will give to local food banks.
Bikefest returns to Bobcaygeon this weekend, Kawartha Lakes. Motorcycle enthusiasts will be flocking to Bobcaygeon this weekend for the 9th annual Bobcaygeon Bike Fest. The full-day event is slated for Sunday, June 23rd from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., with thousands of visitors expected on the scenic shores of Sturgeon Lake. Downtown Bobcaygeon will be closed for the event, which features several activities for the entire family, with more than 200 vendors slated to attend, along with live bands and too many food and drink options to list. The event, which is supported by GP Bikes and Whitby and Classy Chassis in Lakefield, will feature motorcycles throughout downtown, lining Bolton Street between King Street and Front Street, as well as on Main Street. Visitors can take advantage of the shuttle service to various events around town, provided by orange t-shirt-clad volunteers driving golf carts that will be pleased to assist those in attendance. The 4th Annual Kite Day at UHC. The Uxbridge Historical Centre will be hosting their 4th Annual Kite Day at the Centre, located at 7239 Concession 6, Uxbridge, on Sunday, July 7th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Did you know the earliest written accounts of kite flying come from the Han Dynasty 206 BC to AD 220? Or did you know one UK scholar master once used a kite instead of horses to pull his carriage? Show off your kite flying skills on July 7th at the Uxbridge Historical Centre during our 4th Annual Family Kite Day. Bring a kite, enjoy a picnic, and join us for the afternoon on the breezy fields of Quaker Hill. The event is free. UHC staff will be discussing the history of kites as well as organizing crafts, games, and other activities for children. Kites, ice cream, and face painting will be available for purchase. All proceeds from activity sales support the Uxbridge Historical Centre, which includes current work on a textile conservation project. Come out for an afternoon of kite flying. It's fun for the whole family. For more information on this free event, contact the Uxbridge Historical Centre by calling 905-852-5854. Uxbridge supports 2022 Ontario Summer Games bid. Daryl Knight, Uxbridge. Athletes from around the province could be descending on Durham for the first time in more than 20 years if a bid for the 2022 Ontario Summer Games is successful, with Uxbridge playing a key role. Uxbridge Council recently backed a bid for the 2022 Games, which if successful would likely see the township, the trail capital of Canada, playing host to the mountain biking events. At a recent council meeting, councillors voted to support Durham's bid, which would see thousands of participants, coaches, and fans visiting the area and competing in 20 sports. There are no actual funds involved in this. It will all be in-kind support, such as staff help, explained Miranda Ferrero, Uxbridge Director of Community Services. She also added that the region expects an economic impact between $4 and $6 million for the region through the event, which was last hosted by Durham Region in 2000. In 2010, Durham Region hosted the Ontario 55+ Senior Games. The Ontario Games program started in 1970 as a showcase event to support amateur sports. Over the past 5 decades, they have become Ontario's largest multi-sport event, including both team and individual sports. Provincial-level athletes from ages 12 to 18 qualify through a regional selection process conducted by the provincial sport organizations. For many young athletes, the Ontario Summer Games is the high point of their sporting career, while for others, the Games are a stepping stone for the Pan Am Games or even the Olympics.
Dealing with difficult people. Tina Y. Gerber, special to The Standard. Dealing with difficult people is an essential component of life. Relationships are built on shared experiences, both the good and the bad. Research shows supportive relationships are good for our emotional and mental health. Successful relationships do not necessarily have fewer problems, but those involved have found effective means or ways of solving problems. But what if the individual in question is a family member, a co-worker, a neighbor, and still someone you have never found the knack of getting along with? You can't just eliminate them. In dealing with difficult people, we must understand we can't change the other person. All we can do is change our response to them. Widening our perspective on any situation can reduce the possibility of misunderstandings. The bottom line in communication is less about the intention of our words and more about how they are received. Remember, some people in our lives are simply not worth fretting about. It's not necessary to be close with everyone you know. Being polite and respectful goes a long way towards creating harmony and balance. I believe every relationship has its rough edges. We all have our idiosyncrasies, and we must be willing to forgive. I believe making our way through a difficult situation, by grace, is necessary to understand the core root of any problem. Look beyond the words and actions of others to understand the feelings prompting them, whether it is a spouse, son, daughter, friend, neighbor, or co-worker. Dig in and find out the truth behind what's actually being said. Take your time and measure your thoughts before you speak. If you're truly listening, you won't simply be waiting for your turn to talk. Not every battle needs to be fought, and the sooner we realize this, the happier our life will become. I've learned some people will always believe they are right. Jesus told his disciples not to live like the rest of the world. We, are to live in love, live in prayer, live in faith, and live following graciously after Jesus' ways. My husband can shine the light on any situation, and he has the ability of disarming an opponent with his humor, while many resort to name-calling and slander. Proverbs 1:7 says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." Difficult behaviors from others say a lot more about them than about you. Think twice and fight the battles truly worth fighting. At the end of the day, communication is a practice, a skill. Being an adult doesn't necessarily make you wise, and age has little to do with wisdom, but I believe experience certainly plays a role. We are all flawed and frightened people. No one is perfect, so we can grow. We learn from every interaction and encounter, and relationships can be one of the greatest sources of joy. Straightforward relationships in life are a gift, and the problematic relationships are lessons. Most importantly, our actions speak louder than words.
The Standard Podcast was produced by Greenstream Studio for the Standard newspaper.